Years ago, I bought an Epson EcoTank ET-4950 for my PAPERCRAFT studio, and I loved it so much that I decided to buy a second EcoTank for my home office. But when I went to buy one, I discovered that Epson had just released the new ET-4950. Is this an upgrade, or did they mess up a good thing? I'm David. I'm the creator of Kooky Craftables, and I torture test printers for a living. Not exactly. I design PAPERCRAFT for companies like Marvel, Lucasfilm, and NASA, and I need printers that can handle large areas of solid color on cardstock without choking. So when I say I torture test printers, I mean it. This is not a sponsored video. I bought this printer with my own money, and if it's bad, I'm returning it. So let's find out if the ET-4950 is worth your money. As I'm making this video, a lot of stores still sell the older ET-4850 and the new ET-4950. The prices are pretty close, so if you're deciding between the two or wondering if the new one is a downgrade, this video is for you. First things first, if you're new to the EcoTank printers, here's what you need to know. Instead of expensive high-capacity inkjet cartridges that cost over $100 a set and print about 1,000 color pages, EcoTanks use giant bottles of ink that cost about $50 a set and can print over 5,000 color pages. Listen to this sound. If you print a lot, that sound is music to your ears. And that's what got me hooked on an Epson EcoTank 2 years ago. Side by side, the two printers have almost an identical footprint, but the 4950 is slightly taller. Here's something interesting. The 4850 has a more textured plastic on the body, which I actually prefer. The smoother finish on the 4950 is going to show fingerprints and dings more easily. It's a minor complaint, but worth noting. Both have flip-up control panels, which I love because I'm usually standing when I print, and this makes the touch screen way easier to use. Now check this out. The 4850 scanner hood always bugged me. It's heavy and you have to shove it all the way open or it falls. The 4950's hood is spring-loaded. Nice touch. But here's where things get interesting. On the 4850 you have to lift 2 layers of the hood and snap it into place to add ink. It's clunky. But the 4950? Easy access door. You don't have to open the hood at all. It's a legitimate upgrade. Now I need to talk about something that drives me crazy. I never liked the paper tray on the 4850. It feels cheap to me, and I was hoping they'd improve it with this 4950. Well, they didn't. The tray itself might be slightly better, but the paper catcher is flimsy. And check this out. When you close the paper tray door, there's no way for the paper to exit the printer. I mean, really? They give me this nice little window to see the paper level, but the door blocks the exit? So, I mean, what happens if I print with the door closed? Will it jam? Will it beep? Will it explode? Stay tuned. I'll test that later. Quick sidebar. Unlike cartridge printers, EcoTanks do produce waste ink, and that collects in what Epson calls the maintenance box. On the 4850, it's behind this screw-in access door. On the 4950, it's easier to get to, no screw. Some people commented on my 4850 review saying that once the maintenance box fills up that the printer is dead or trash. In my experience and research, that's not true. I've been printing with my 4850 for 2 years and haven't even gotten a maintenance box full message yet, but when I do, both models use the same replacement part, so I bought a few backups. When mine does fill up, I'll make a video about replacing it. Okay, now this is the same thing with the older model. I don't believe it came with a USB cable, and the new one doesn't either. It only comes with the power cable. So if you are using USB to connect your printer to your computer, you're going to need to get a cable. Setup is straightforward. Remove all the protective tape, and some pieces of tape are inside the printer, so don't forget those. Then choose your setup method. You can use the mobile app or the touch screen. I'll just use the touch screen. The 4950 uses the same ink bottles as the 4850. They have keyed nozzles, so you can't accidentally pour cyan ink into the black tank. Let's go ahead and load the black ink first. There it is. Now, cyan, magenta, yellow. You won't use the entire bottle on the initial fill. Just save that extra for later. Once filled, the printer has to charge the ink, moving some of it from the tank to the tubes. It takes about 10 minutes and it uses a chunk of initial ink, but that's normal for all EcoTanks. now for the alignment. The old 4850 made me print a test sheet, look at it with my eyes, and grade it like a high school teacher. Let's see what the 4950 does. Oh, wait, the door needs to be open for the paper to come out. Let me fix that. Interesting. This test page looks a little different. What do I do with this? Oh, I scan it back into the printer. It's gonna auto-calibrate itself. That's actually pretty slick. Done. That's way better than the manual method of the 4850. Now, the next part is probably the most important thing in this entire video, and it's something that I think a lot of people skip or don't even know about. They plug in the printer and let their computer auto-discover it. Don't do that. If you let your Mac or your PC auto-discover the printer, you're getting a generic driver, AirPrint or something. That won't give you the full control of your printer. You need to go to Epson's site and download the actual driver package. Here's the driver page. Wait, well, this says the app is iOS only? That's confusing. Okay, well, I'm gonna break my own advice and just plug it in via USB and see what happens. Okay, my MacBook sees the printer, but yeah, this is not the full-featured Epson driver. Honestly, this is how I used my 4850 for months before I realized I was missing out on the EcoTank superpowers. Let me print a test page just to make sure this thing works. Yep, it prints. Double checking the Epson software page. Oh, look down here. There's a drop-down menu to select your operating system. Well, this is easy to miss. After installation, it updates the firmware. And then I have to add the printer to my Mac system settings. This is where things get messy. My printer list is now full of duplicate profiles, so let's test a full color print and figure out which one is the right one. This is one of my Kooky Craftables projects, Frank versus Frank. It's colorful, fun, and super simple to make. Yeah, my printer list is a disaster. Let me try this profile. Nope. This one? Yeah, this is the right one. With the driver, you get color options. You can control brightness, contrast, saturation, and individual CMYK levels. Since I'm printing professional papercraft, I need my colors to be as accurate as possible, and this menu gives you the most control to get there. I like to print on 65-pound uncoated cardstock. That's what I use for all my papercraft projects. Let's start with normal quality. Not bad. The blacks could be deeper, but it's decent for normal mode. Let's try fine mode. As you can see, this takes longer, and here's the comparison. The quality difference is fairly dramatic. The fine mode is noticeably sharper and the colors are richer. If I wanted to tweak the green to be more yellow, I could use those sliders I showed you earlier. All right, let's solve the mystery. What happens if I try to print with the paper tray door closed? Oh no, it's trying to print. Hold on. Oh, you're kidding me. It's opening itself. Okay, that's pretty cool. Will it close itself when I take the paper out? Hello? To be honest though, this printer will probably just sit on my desk with the door perpetually open, like it's been cracked open for spare parts or something. Functional, but not very pretty. And this is the one real design flaw I see with the new EcoTank. But hey, they didn't ask me for my advice, so maybe next time. So is the ET-4950 better than the 4850? Yes. Print quality is the same. The easier ink access, spring-loaded hood, auto-calibration setup, these are the real improvements. If you already own a 4850, don't rush to upgrade. If you're buying today, the 4950 is a solid choice. And this is what Frank versus Frank looks like all put together. He's just one of dozens of characters I've invented. If you have questions about how to use these printers for papercraft, drop them in the comments. I do read them. Wait, I just discovered this button on the touchscreen. This closes the front door if you don't want to manually do it. I probably won't ever use it, but hey, it's there. If you're trying to decide whether you actually need an EcoTank, a cartridge machine, or if a color laser might be better for you, I have a video comparing all three technologies right here. Click that and make sure that you're buying the right tech for your desk.